It's one of those afternoons that feel heavier than the air itself. Mosswood, Louisiana. Population, small. Mindset, smaller. The sun sits low and swollen over cracked asphalt and faded storefronts. It's quiet, too quiet, the kind of quiet that carries the weight of unspoken rules. A black Chevy Tahoe rolls slowly into a gas station off Route 19. The driver, a 45-year-old black woman in jeans and a grey t-shirt, moves with a calm, deliberate grace, hair tied back. No jewellery, just presence. To anyone passing by, she looks like another traveller stopping for gas. But there's something about her stillness, a kind of quiet authority that doesn't need to announce itself. Her name is Denise Harper. Off duty today, no medals, no stars, no uniform, just a woman trying to buy gas, call her mother back and head home. She doesn't notice the patrol car across the lot. 2 officers, engine idling, sit inside, one chewing sunflower seeds, the other scrolling through his phone. Their conversation fades when they notice her license plate. Government issue. They look at each other. Wonder what she's doing way out here, one says. The other smirks. Let's find out. It's the moment before the storm, the kind you can feel but not yet see. And what's about to happen will not only change her life, but tear open everything this town pretends not to see. Denise steps out, stretching her arms slightly, reaching for the gas pump. She glances around. The place looks harmless. 2 cars, a flickering sign, an old man inside the station reading a newspaper. But what she doesn't see are the eyes watching her, the unspoken suspicion, the hunger to assert control. Inside her car, the radio hums softly, a news story about a congressional hearing on military reform. She almost laughs. Same problems, different decade. As the tank fills, she leans against the car, scrolling through her phone. A text from her commanding officer flashes across the screen. Appreciate your service this week. Rest up, Colonel. She smiles faintly, not knowing how much weight that title will soon carry. Across the lot, the patrol car door opens. A man in his 30s with pale skin, tight jaw, steps out. His partner follows. No siren, no call, no crime, just a decision made in silence. This isn't a traffic stop. It's a test, the kind that too many have failed simply because of who they are. The first officer calls out, "Ma'am, can we have a word?" Denise turns calm, polite. "Something wrong, officer?" He looks her up and down, no uniform, no rank, just skin. "Mind telling me where you're headed?" She blinks, confused. "Home. Is there a problem?" He glances at the license plate again. "Government tag. You law enforcement?" "No," she replies. "Just federal property. Is there a reason you're asking?" He tilts his head slightly. That small motion that says, "I don't like how confident you sound." His partner circles behind her, slow, deliberate, like they're both rehearsing a dance they've done before. There's a thin line between curiosity and control, and when you're black in the South, that line always moves depending on who's holding the badge. Denise doesn't flinch. Years in the service have taught her that silence can be louder than any argument. She just watches him, unblinking, and that composure, it unsettles him. He tries again. "You from around here?" "Not anymore. Where's anymore?" She pauses, smiles faintly. "Everywhere this country sent me." It's an honest answer, but not the one he's ready to understand. The radio on his shoulder crackles. He ignores it. His hand drifts to his belt, not out of fear but reflex, the kind that comes from years of not being challenged. She senses it. Every muscle in her body sharpens, ready, restrained. She's been in worse places. Deserts, battlefields, boardrooms full of men who doubted her. But this one feels personal. Because this isn't about danger. It's about power. Who's supposed to have it, and who's never allowed to. He looks at her again, eyes narrowing. "You got ID?" She nods, reaching slowly into her pocket, careful, controlled. But even that movement makes his hand twitch near his holster. She freezes. "You want me to stop?" He doesn't answer. The silence hangs like a loaded gun. A family pulling into the gas station notices. A mother whispers to her kids to stay in the car. The air thickens with that old familiar tension, the kind that says everyone here knows what could happen next. Denise hands him her license. He glances at it. Denise Harper, DC address. He looks up. "You work for the government?" She shrugs. "Something like that." He doesn't like the vagueness. People like him never do. Control slips through their fingers when they can't label what they see. If you've been watching this far, you already feel where this is going. Make sure you subscribe because what happens next, you need to see to believe. Back to the scene. The second officer leans toward the car, peering through the window. Mind if we take a look? She straightens slightly. Unless you have a warrant, yes, I do mind. The tone shifts, subtle but sharp. That's the moment the first officer steps closer. Too close. The air between them turns thin, and even without saying it, Denise can feel the question he's too afraid to ask out loud. Who do you think you are? But maybe the better question is, what happens when a woman they underestimate finally makes them answer for it? For a second, the world stands still. A gas pump ticking, a flag flapping in the wind, two men looking at a woman they've already judged. And in that stillness, she exhales slowly, remembering her father's voice. Calm is power. The moment you lose it, they win. She doesn't know that in less than 5 minutes her calm will be tested harder than it ever has been, because the flashing lights aren't coming to protect her. They're coming to remind her what it costs to look unafraid. What happens next will expose a town's prejudice, a department's ignorance, and a woman's strength the world was never meant to see. License and registration. The words hit like a trigger, not loud, not aggressive, just commanding. But to Denise, it's the tone that says, I've already decided who you are. She exhales slowly, reaching for her wallet. Sure, she says, voice calm. Controlled. Her hands are visible the entire time, every motion measured, deliberate, the way every black parent teaches their child to move when the law starts watching. She hands the officer her license, her registration, even her insurance. Everything is neat, organized, but still his eyes don't soften, because for men like him, order doesn't matter, respect doesn't matter. They're not looking for answers, they're looking for confirmation. He squints at the documents. This car's government registered. You military? Retired, she replies, still consult occasionally. He glances at her t-shirt, plain grey. You got proof of that? She gestures toward the glove box. My ID's in there. He pauses. You mind if I grab it? She asks. He hesitates, then shakes his head. No, step back, I'll check it. His partner moves in closer, hand hovering near his holster like it's a reflex he doesn't even question. The crowd around the gas station is growing, quiet, watchful. A woman filming on her phone. The air feels heavy enough to split. It's strange, how something so small can spiral so fast. A gesture, a glance, a tone. And suddenly you're not a person anymore, just a situation. Denise tries to keep her voice even. Officer, can you tell me what this is about? Just routine questioning, he says. We had reports of a suspicious vehicle in the area. She glances around. The parking lot's nearly empty. Suspicious how? He doesn't answer. The second officer steps forward. Why are you so nervous? I'm not nervous, she replies. He tilts his head. Then why are your hands shaking? She looks down. They aren't. This is how it happens. They create the story first and then force you to fit inside it. The first officer takes her ID from the glove box, glances at it but doesn't hand it back. Instead, he looks her dead in the eye. Colonel Harper, never heard of you. She lets the insult slide. You wouldn't. Most of my work isn't public. He smirks. Right, and I'm the president. The crowd murmurs, low, uneasy. Even the cashier from inside steps out now, arms folded, unsure which side to take. Denise stands still. Every instinct screams at her to walk away, but she knows better. Walk away and it's resisting. Speak up and it's threatening. Stay silent and it's suspicious. There's no winning here, just survival. Every black American knows this moment, when you're forced to balance your humanity against someone else's fear. The first officer circles the car again, peering inside, pretending to inspect. The second stays close to her. Too close. She shifts slightly, trying to maintain space. He takes a step forward, his hand brushing the side of his gun. That's when she instinctively moves back, a single small step. Hands where I can see them. The shout cracks the air like thunder. Gas nozzles drop, people flinch. Her heart slams, but she freezes. Hands up, voice calm. They're right here. And just like that, it's no longer a stop. It's a spectacle. The second officer grips his radio. We've got a possible code 10. Send backup. Possible what? She wants to ask, but she already knows the answer. The backup isn't for safety. It's for control. A mother nearby whispers to her teenage son, don't stare. But the boy can't look away. He's never seen fear and restraint coexist like this. The first officer yanks open the Tahoe door. You mind telling me what's in the back? "Groceries," she says, "and my duffel bag." He doesn't believe her. He never did. He gestures. "Turn around." She hesitates. For what reason? That hesitation, half a second, is all it takes. He grabs her wrist. "Turn around." The metal cuffs snap cold against her skin. Every eye in that gas station turns. The quiet woman in jeans and a grey shirt, now standing cuffed beside her own car. No resistance, no threat, just disbelief. One man filming mutters, "She didn't even do anything." Another whispers, "You'd think they'd have bigger problems." Denise stays still, head held high, breathing slowly. The irony burns as one officer mutters under his breath, "You people always think you're above the law." She almost laughs. You people. The same words her grandfather once heard from a bus driver in 1959. The same words her father heard from a recruiter who doubted he'd make it through boot camp. If you're watching this, hit subscribe. Because what's coming next will flip everything you think you know about this story. The crowd edges closer, phones raised. But the officers, they don't stop. One opens her back seat, rifling through her bag. The other stands guard, eyes cold, detached. She says nothing, because anything she says now, any emotion, will be weaponized. And for a moment, standing there, she remembers a quote she once told her cadets. Sometimes silence isn't surrender, it's survival. But survival shouldn't look like this. Not for someone who's risked her life for the same flag stitched on their sleeves. One officer leans down to whisper, "You must think you're something special, huh?" She stares straight ahead. I used to. It's quiet. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that carries humiliation in every second. Then, from somewhere across the lot, a voice, "Hey! She didn't do anything." Someone finally breaks the silence. The officer looks up, angry, defensive. "Step back, sir. This doesn't concern you." But it does. It always does. The man keeps filming, and that video, the one being recorded right now, will soon reach millions. But none of them know that yet. Not Denise. Not the officers, not even the witnesses were holding their breath. Because in the next few minutes, a single phone call will turn two small-town cops into a national headline, and the woman they tried to humiliate into the symbol of a storm they never saw coming. The search starts slow, careful, performative, but everyone watching knows what it really is. It's not about finding something illegal, it's about finding something wrong with her. Something to justify what they've already done. Officer Brooks leans into the Tahoe, rummaging through the center console. He finds a coffee mug, a small notebook, a folded jacket, and then a brown leather wallet wedged under the seat. It's old, worn at the edges, the kind of thing you keep for years because it means something. He flips it open. The air changes. Inside, a Department of Defense identification card, gold seal faintly reflecting the afternoon light. The photo is unmistakable. The name printed clean and bold, Colonel Denise Harper. Active status. Clearance. Top secret. And for the first time, Brooks blinks. The rookie next to him, Officer Daniels, leans in and stammers, "Wait, Colonel?" Brooks doesn't answer. His hand starts to tremble slightly as he rereads the ID, hoping somehow it's fake, hoping this isn't real. But then Harper speaks quietly, her voice steady. "You might want to call your supervisor." That calm tone hits harder than any shout could. It's not the voice of fear. It's the voice of someone who's been in real danger before and knows this isn't it. Daniels swallows hard. "Brooks, what do we do?" But before he can respond, her phone starts ringing on the hood of the car, where they placed it earlier. The name flashes across the screen in bold white letters, Pentagon Liaison, DC. Every sound in the air, the gas pump, the buzz of the lights seems to fade out. Brooks hesitates. Then, against every ounce of instinct screaming, "Don't do it," he picks up the phone. Hello?" A deep, measured voice answers. "This is General Hastings. Who is this, and why are you answering Colonel Harper's phone?" That single sentence feels like a bomb dropped in the middle of the Louisiana heat. Brooks opens his mouth, but nothing comes out. Daniels glances at him, wide-eyed. Harper just watches, silent. The voice sharpens. "Put her on the line, now." Brooks stammers, "Sir, I'm Officer Brooks, Mosswood Police Department. We were conducting a routine stop." The general cuts him off, tone flat and cold. "Routine stop? You've detained a United States Army officer without cause. Do you have any idea what you've just done?" The line goes silent again, and that's when it hits them. This wasn't just a mistake. This was about to become a national incident. Suddenly, the radio on Brooks's shoulder crackles to life. Unit 23, dispatch. We've got a call from Baton Rouge Command asking about a Colonel Denise Harper. What's going on out there? Brooks's mouth goes dry. Daniel's voice shakes. Dispatch. We're resolving the situation. Across the parking lot, customers are frozen mid-transaction. A woman by the gas pump whispers, "She's military." Another man, still recording, whispers back, "Yeah, and those idiots just cuffed her." Harper remains quiet, her wrist still bound, her gaze locked on Brooks. Not angry, just disappointed. "Officer," she says calmly, "I need you to uncuff me. Right now." Brooks hesitates, glancing toward Daniels. But before either can move, a police SUV speeds into the lot, siren wailing once before shutting off. Sergeant Miller, their superior, steps out, face pale, already on the phone. He storms over. "What the hell did you two do?" Brooks mutters. She wasn't identifying herself clearly. The vehicle was government registered, and... "Do you have any idea who she is?" Miller snaps, pulling out his phone and showing the Department of Defense database confirmation that just came through. "Colonel Denise Harper. 10 tours. Defense Intelligence Command. You've just handcuffed a top-level military officer." Daniels blurts out, "We thought." "Yeah," Miller interrupts. "That's the problem. You thought." But what none of them knew yet was that the story had already left the parking lot. Someone's TikTok live was running. Another video was already uploaded with the caption, "They handcuffed a black female officer in Louisiana." Within minutes, phones start pinging. Shares, comments. A spark, waiting for oxygen. Miller rushes to Harper, fumbling with the cuffs. "Colonel Harper, I deeply apologize. This was a misunderstanding." She doesn't move. "Don't apologize to me," she says. "Apologize to everyone who just watched this." That line hits like a slap. The officers stand frozen. Miller lowers his head, voice breaking slightly. "Yes, ma'am." Harper takes her phone back, still connected. "General Hastings," she says. The voice on the other end softens. "We're already aware, Colonel. Sit tight. I've made some calls." She exhales. "Understood, sir." Then she looks around at the crowd, people watching, recording, whispering. "Everybody, thank you for staying calm," she says quietly. "But please, keep your footage. Don't delete anything." Because that footage would become the proof that broke this entire story open. As the police try to regroup, more vehicles pull into the lot. Unmarked sedans, local reporters, state troopers. The atmosphere shifts from control to crisis. Inside one cruiser, Brooks sits with his head in his hands. Daniels stares blankly at his reflection in the rearview mirror. Brooks whispers, "We're done, man. This is it." Daniels shakes his head. "I didn't sign up for this." Meanwhile, Sergeant Miller is already on the radio reporting to headquarters. "We need immediate containment. Civilian footage is spreading. The Pentagon is aware. Repeat, the Pentagon is aware. But it's already too late to contain anything. The damage is done." Harper leans against her car, free now, but not at peace. Her phone buzzes again, this time with messages from colleagues, from defense officials, from journalists. She opens one, a simple text from General Hastings. "Colonel, don't speak to the press yet. We're sending a statement." She closes her eyes for a second. She's exhausted, humiliated, but more than anything, she's angry. And as she looks up at the flashing lights bouncing off the gas station glass, one thought forms in her mind. They wouldn't have done this if I didn't look like me. That's when she turns to Miller and says softly, "Sergeant, you might want to prepare your department for what's coming." Because in less than 12 hours, this would become headline news across the country. If you're still watching right now, you already know, this story isn't just about one woman. It's about a system. So if you believe stories like this need to be told, hit the subscribe button. That's how we keep these voices alive. As the scene fades, dashcams still record, radios still buzz, and for once, the silence between those sounds says everything. Because now, Mosswood isn't just a small Louisiana town anymore. It's about to become a case study in what happens when power meets consequence. By the time the sun dips behind the pines of Mosswood, Louisiana, the gas station scene has transformed into something no one expected. Cameras, both professional and phone-mounted, capture every moment. The footage traveling across social media like wildfire. What started as a routine stop has escalated into a national conversation, one that no small-town officer could contain. Inside the station, Denise Harper stands calm, hands uncuffed now, though her wrists still sting from the rough metal. She surveys the officers around her, Brooks and Daniels pale and shaken, Sergeant Miller pacing behind them, trying to regain control of what is now uncontrollable. Every action, every glance is being recorded. Every second matters. And the tension isn't just in the air, it's across the country. Every frame of video is being scrutinized, analyzed, and shared. The world is watching. Harper's phone vibrates again. A text from General Hastings reads, "Hold your position. The media will be there soon. Stay calm. We've got your back." She exhales slowly, letting the words sink in. There is no anger in her posture, only a quiet, unshakable dignity, the type that commands respect without raising a voice. Outside, news vans pull into the lot, their sirens muted but their presence undeniable. Reporters step out, cameras rolling, microphones held high, trying to capture a word, a glance, a reaction that might define the story. Because in moments like these, one word can ignite outrage or command it. Brooks steps forward, trying to regain some semblance of authority. "Colonel Harper, Ma'am, She raises a hand. "Stop. This isn't about you anymore. It's about the truth. And right now, the truth is on my side." The words hang in the humid Louisiana air. There's a pause, the kind that stretches and stretches, forcing everyone to consider what has just happened. Harper is unarmed, in casual clothes, yet the power in her presence is undeniable. A reporter pushes forward. "Colonel Harper, what was going through your mind when they handcuffed you?" Harper straightens her back, pulls off her sunglasses and looks directly into the camera. "I was thinking about how many times this has happened to someone who looks like me. How many times are competence, service, and dedication questioned simply because of skin color? And I realized this isn't just about me. It's about everyone who has been judged before being seen." Her words don't just resonate, they echo. Across Mosswood, across Louisiana, across the nation, a flash of reporters' cameras captures the moment. One of the officers, Brooks, finally breaks, muttering under his breath, "We're done here, completely out of our depth." Meanwhile, her phone rings again, another Pentagon liaison. Harper answers, voice firm but controlled. "Yes, sir." She listens, nods subtly, then says, "Understood, we'll handle it." She hangs up, letting out a soft sigh. This is the calm after the storm, but she knows the fallout has only just begun, and the fallout spreads faster than anyone could anticipate. By nightfall, the video clips dominate social media feeds. Hashtags trend nationwide. "Justice for Colonel Harper," "Mosswood incident," "Black excellence under fire." Analysts break down the footage, dissecting every gesture, every word, noting how she remained composed, compliant, and unshakable under pressure. In her quiet office later, Harper reviews the footage herself. She doesn't smile, she doesn't revel in vindication. She simply notes the reactions, the disbelief, the respect, the sudden awareness in the faces of those who doubted her. This isn't about revenge. It's about visibility, about making the unseen visible. Because sometimes showing who you are is the most powerful weapon you have. Days later, she stands before a throng of cameras outside the Pentagon. Now in her crisp army uniform, the medals shining under the bright lights, Harper addresses the nation. "I serve this country to protect people like them," she says, voice steady, unwavering. But the truth is, some battles follow you home. Every day we fight to be recognized for our abilities, our dedication, and our service. Not just in the field, but everywhere we are judged before we are seen. She pauses, letting the words settle. And in that moment, everyone watching understands this isn't just one arrest. It's a lesson in dignity, restraint, and courage. Reporters scribble notes, cameras roll, and the country listens. Harper doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't demand justice. She demonstrates it. And that demonstration is louder than any argument, any protest, any headline could be. If you're still watching, you already know this story is bigger than one person. It's about standing firm in the face of injustice, about refusing to let prejudice define you. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss stories that showcase courage under pressure, because these are voices the world needs to hear. By the evening, the Mosswood officers are on administrative leave. Internal investigations are launched, and public opinion turns sharply. Commentators, analysts, and viewers alike replay the footage, dissecting every action, every word, every pause. Harper watches from a distance, silent. not triumphant, just aware. The lesson has already been learned, the country has seen, and now they cannot unsee. Because some moments, captured in real time, change narratives forever. She straightens her posture, adjusts her medals slightly, and looks into the camera one last time. "This isn't about me," she says. "It's about every black professional who has ever been underestimated, misjudged, or disrespected. Stand your ground, speak your truth, and never let anyone make you feel invisible." The footage continues to circulate. The story spreads beyond Mosswood, beyond Louisiana, beyond the military community. Conversations spark, policies are questioned, awareness rises. And as night falls, Denise Harper drives home, casual clothes tucked into her bag. She smiles faintly, thinking of her mother, of the countless others who will see this story and understand. Recognition and respect are battles fought quietly, but they can echo across a nation when you refuse to stay silent. Because in the end, peace, dignity, and courage can resonate louder than any injustice.